This week on Life in the Park, MnDOT weighs in on the Highway 100 construction project. City Council looks at banning the bag. Parktacular kicks off summer in the park, and news you can use.
Welcome to this week's edition of Life in the Park. I'm Jane Kim. In our cover story, we sat down with MnDOT about the benefits of the Highway 100 reconstruction project. More on that in just a bit, but first, here's news you can use. The St. Louis Park City Council recently held a discussion on plastic bag usage in the park. The June 22nd session assisted the council in learning more about reducing or banning single-use plastic bags in St. Louis Park. The policies that were reviewed highlighted plastic bags that are used to transport goods from the store. Some potential options for plastic bag usage include charging a fee for using plastic bags, which would use a minimum fee to discourage usage, while paper bags will be provided free of charge. And an additional option would be to ban plastic bags altogether while charging a small fee for paper bags to encourage the use of reusable bags.
Interestingly enough, when there was an article in our Star Tribune newspaper about us considering this, and that's really what we're doing, is we're talking about it and getting more information and considering it, all of a sudden, my friends started texting me pictures of plastic bags in trees and pictures of plastic bags on fences and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden I started seeing them everywhere as I was driving. So my question to you is, anecdotally, have you noticed, is it noticeable the lack of trash and litter of these plastic bags throughout Corvallis?
Well, it's interesting. I really noticed it a lot when we were having the discussion, all the plastic bags.
Residents and businesses will have the opportunity to comment about this issue at a public hearing that is scheduled for September. The weather kindly cooperated with the park's annual summer celebration last week. All Parktacular events took place as scheduled, and residents enjoyed the many festivities that took place.
I know you guys just joined in the group. What made you decide to join?
We met these nice people at the event, and we were drawn to them. So we stepped up and volunteered.
I mean, this is a perfect day to do this, although I've been telling people all the way along the route that I'm going to be able to do something next year I've never done in my life, and that's to be able to sit here in a comfortable chair and watch this great parade.
Parade classic.
Many thanks to all the Parktacular volunteers, city staff, and local businesses for making Parktacular possible. The summer concert series continues on Wednesday, July 1st with some sweet drumming beats. Dahlke will be performing on stage at the Veterans Memorial Amphitheater at 7 p.m. And before the fireworks on July 4th, Stevie and the Table Rockers will light up Aquila Park from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Both concerts are free of charge, courtesy of the St. Louis Park Rotary and the St. Louis Park Operations and Recreation Department. In the case of unfavorable weather conditions, call 952-924-2567 for updates on concert status. The City of St. Louis Park proudly offers yellow recycling containers at all of our larger parks as well as at some of our smaller parks. Please use them for all recyclable materials, including plastic, aluminum, or glass containers. The city has been recycling in our parks since 2006, recycling several tons of materials each year that typically would go into the garbage container. St. Louis Park currently recycles approximately 5% of waste that comes through the parks. Now to our cover story. Going through and around the park has been a challenge as of late. With the removal of the Minnetonka Boulevard Bridge and a couple of lanes on Highway 100, some of our commutes have looked a bit more like an obstacle course. Life in the Park got a chance to sit down with MnDOT's Bobbie Dahlke about the long-term benefits of the current construction project. Take a look.
The purpose is to improve the capacity of Highway 100. It is also to improve the deficient bridges and ramps we have at Minnetonka Boulevard and Highway 7. So once the project is done, they'll see better improvements to the capacity on the highway. We're adding a third lane, so it'll be 3 lanes all the way through. And we're changing the geometrics of both Minnetonka Boulevard and Highway 7. So what we'll do is we'll minimize some of that weaving that currently went on there by changing the geometrics of the ramps, by stretching them out longer, moving spreading them out further, so you don't have that weaving between 7 and Minnetonka that you used to have. Oh, it'll be a better commute, because again, we're improving the capacity. That means we're putting in another lane there, and we're also putting in auxiliary lanes, so people will be able to use the auxiliary lane to go off and on, where straight through mainline traffic will have an extra lane there. So it'll improve the throughput through St. Louis Park. They've got about between 100 and 132,000 cars that use that thoroughfare between about 36th or about 50th and Robbinsdale. So a lot of cars are going through there. We open up that lane, it's going to really open up the traffic to go right through there. And also, once we change the geometrics of those ramps, it'll make not only St. Louis Park more visible, but it'll be more accessible, because those ramps are not the windy, tighty, weaving traffic that they used to see before. It's ease of in and out of St. Louis Park. So from an economic standpoint, the ramps will improve, and the added capacity will improve the economic development of the community. Absolutely. You'll see more traffic going through St. Louis Park. It'll be a little bit more free-flowing, and they'll just bring a lot more visibility to the community itself. I mean, St. Louis Park is unique in that the highway goes straight through it on both sides, so it's bringing a lot of visibility to the city. And I know it's difficult right now to travel through that. I understand that. But when the project's said and done, I think a lot of people will be very grateful for it. First of all, we understand, construction is frustrating to people, especially right now. There's a lot going on in the West Metro. There's a lot of main thoroughfares that are under construction. But this project has been in the works for anywhere between 12 to 20 years. We've been talking about this project. So the city and the community have waited for this project for a very long time. And yes, right now it's very difficult to get through that little stretch, but we are seeing better commute times than we expected. We expected to have about 5 to 8 times the current commute through the area between Robbinsdale and about St. Louis Park, but we are seeing much better times than that under construction, which means that people are diverting. They're going elsewhere. They're leaving at different times of the day. They've kind of adjusted to the construction. I mean, you almost have to, unless you want to be confined to your house. So a couple of things is that people just be patient and realize that it is construction, and we are working as fast as we can. We are working 6 days a week. We're shutting down the highway at least 8 times this year. We've gone through, I think, 4 of them already, to get the work done, to try to mitigate those impacts to the community. And also, if they have an interest in what's coming up, what's next, there's a couple of outlets they can do. Is, of course, refer to St. Louis Park, because you guys you take everything that we give and you repurpose it, and that is great. But if not, to get on the MnDOT website and to sign up for our constant contact list. And what that is we'll give you updates on what's happening, this is coming, this is what's on the horizon, this is what's opening. So if they really want to know what's going on, the best source is that MnDOT website, and to get their name on that list. Yeah, we're set to open Minnetonka Boulevard this fall. So what we'll do is this fall we'll open at Minnetonka Boulevard 3 of the ramps, 3 of the 4, and then we'll shut down Highway 7, and we'll work on Highway 7. The original plan was for us not to get to Highway 7 until 2016, so that we're opening Minnetonka Boulevard and shutting down 7. That's good. We're moving along quickly. So through the winter, they'll have 3 lanes open, or 3 ramps open on Minnetonka Boulevard, and then we'll close some of the ramps again in 2016. So the project said and done will be about the end of 2016.
Be sure to tune in next week when Reg Dunlap will take us to Park the Street 2, a celebration filled with food, entertainment, and fun. Remember, you can always keep up to date in the park by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/St. Louis Park. That's it for this week's edition of Life in the Park. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Park TV.
Hi, I'm Lisa Abernathy with your Rec Minute. If you're sticking around town this 4th of July, don't miss our firework display at Aquila Park. Concessions, vendors, and entertainment by Stevie and the Table Rockers will be at the park 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Fireworks will begin approximately at 10 p.m. So bring your lawn chairs and blanket and enjoy this spectacular display right here in the park.
This is Scott Heitkamp with your Rec Minute. Kids, start saving those pennies. July 5th is Penny Carnival time. The Penny Carnival in Wolf Park will be held on Friday, July 17th from noon to 2 p.m. Show off your skills at the fun carnival games, dance to the beats of DJ Bob, and enjoy a jump in the moonwalks or a ride on the hayride. Your own transportation must be provided to Wolf Park. Games range from 2 to 4 cents, and refreshment tickets will also be sold for $1. Change will be made available at the park that day. Don't miss out on this fun event at Wolf Park.